We are David and Jennifer Boschbies. We have 4 kids.
And we currently have another foster child with us as well.
We do have...
And she is another 3-year-old, so we have almost twins.
Yeah.
Yeah. We started foster care almost 10 years ago. I saw an article in the paper about the need for foster parents in South Dakota, and that specifically in Minnehaha County, that there was a need for like 40 some kids that were waiting for a home.
Our faith has really been centered to our journey as foster parents. And as we took the step into fostering, the scripture about caring for the orphan and the widow became real life. And we really felt that was something that we wanted to live out and not just talk about or tell others. Day to day, as a foster parent, I think compassion looks like being available, being present, enduring maybe some sleepless nights or changes to the schedule, so changes to the routine. But when I think of compassion, I really think of just being there, being available. Often we have to come back and remember, why we're doing what we're doing. And you always like to say it's not about us. So God has taught us a lot about compassion through fostering.
Yeah. Foster 605 has been a huge inspiration for us, has been a huge encouragement for us and our family along this 10-year journey that we've been on and will continue to be on.
I've had to have that mindset as a foster parent that, hey, this is, we can do this. It might just be for a short time, or it's worth doing it because it's making a difference in the life of a child, or also in the life of other parents. When we're seeking to help with reunification, just trying to be a place while another family gets back on their feet. So I think we've learned we can do hard things.
God told me from the very start that it's not about my broken heart, and it's not about my feelings at that time, but it's about speaking into that child, about praying, having a time to pray with them, making a difference. My heart will heal, but we're making a difference for eternity by doing this. And we've seen our kids, huge changes in our kids as well.
Yeah. We can do way more with a willing heart that has been touched by Jesus with compassion, and if we let God use that, He'll take care of the results.
Hi, my name is Rosalinda Kilmer, and this is my husband, Tim Kilmer, and we are the parents of 2 biological children, and we had the honor of adopting 2 siblings in February of 2025. When I was growing up, I had an aunt who was doing foster care and ended up adopting a sibling group of 3, and so that kind of was the start of my interest in foster care, and I always felt led to that. And so actually when Tim and I started dating, that was one of the topics of conversation very early on.
I'd grown up around foster children in our church from childhood up to adulthood, and I didn't have any objection at all to that.
Yeah, it just felt like we were both very much on the same page that would be really important to us down the road in our marriage.
He always questioned, is this the best time to do this right now? And we've had to just pray about it and continue to. We had to basically just pray and trust God that this is what we had to do and what we were supposed to do. And that being a servant to some kids that have truly had some bad things happen or trauma that we didn't have answers to. We didn't know what to say, but we took them anyway.
you're not aware of all the traumas that they've experienced, especially if they're younger and they were not able to verbalize them to anyone. And so we even experienced that with our adopted son, who, when he first came to us, he would just throw screaming fits when he was in his high chair and he wanted to get out. And I'd be busy and I'd say, I'll be there in a moment. And it would turn into an epic tantrum. And it wasn't until we met his grandma and learned that he had been strapped in his car seat and left there so his mom could pass out, that we understood that there was triggers and there was things that he couldn't verbalize and explain, and that caused the reactions that he would have. And so having that compassion and that grace for your little ones, that, you know, there's just things that you don't realize are happening and they just need that extra level of compassion and grace, is really important. And we deeply love all of the foster care kids that have come through our home. They're just all so unique and different, and their personalities, and I just love having their faces come across my mind from time to time. And I don't dwell on it too long because, yes, I can get weepy, but I wouldn't give up any of the tears for any of the kids that were in our home. I am blessed that each one of them was with us, and grateful that most of them were able to return to families and be reunited.
I think doing foster care stretches you as a personally, and you become more, I don't know, it's an experience you can't really explain, in a sense that you get stretched. And when you see other kids and stuff that have trauma, the next set that comes in, you know more what to do with that, you know more how to handle those issues, and these are skill sets that you didn't have until you started doing foster care.
These kids need loving people. And when you go into it with the mindset of, this is temporary, we are working towards reunification, or, you know, kinship placements, whatever the next step needs to be, you can prepare yourself for that. Is it still going to hurt? Absolutely. But it is so worth it. Those kids are worth your, you know, somewhat of your emotional reaction to it. I'm really excited for the work that Pete and Jen are doing with Foster 605, especially when it comes to spreading this message within the churches, because we have a calling to be God's hands and feet in this world and to look after the orphan. And with having that mission to just inspire more people to get involved, even if it's not being a foster care parent, but just being a support to foster care families, inspiring people, equipping them to be able to do those things, to really have that larger community that can be helping, is so important. And so that just gives me hope to see the church really rise up in even greater ways, because the need is great.
It's more than just taking care of kids. Oftentimes we're talking to their parents. You know, the other day, Rosalinda prayed with one of the parents of a past foster child that reached out to us. They circle back. They keep your phone number. You know, it doesn't just stop when the kids leave.